stand tall, I don't tuck my tail. Swear I'm hard as nails. Oh, they judge because my skin is pale. Like I ain't working scale. Bro, I'm raw just like the work. Used to numb the pain with perks. I was popping shit like candy, now I pop off in a verse. See my brothers turn to demons like they...
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. Now, today's episode is the very first one of 2024, and this entire year is all about elevating. It's all about taking ownership over everything and making it exactly what you want it to be. This year is not for excuses. This year is not for victim mentality. This year is not for the faint of heart who is not going to want to get into the trenches, into the mud, into the thick of what they need to get into in order to take their lives where they want to be. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the last 2 or 3 years of my life, I have absolutely changed it around drastically. And I am in so much momentum that this year is all about, making those dreams come true, making every avenue of those dreams come true. Like, instead of looking outside and be like, you know what, it'd be nice to have this. You want to know what? It'd be nice to be in this shape. You want to know what? It'd be nice to feel this way. This is the year we fucking take ownership over it all. We seize it, we take it, and we go for it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, as I said, this is the very first episode of 2024. I want you guys just to have high fucking energy. I want you guys to get out of the gate and just go full tilt for your goals. The way it usually goes is, you win your first, like there's a saying, you win your first third, you win the whole thing. And the statistics show that that's true. So the quicker you get on your goals, the quicker you build momentum, the quicker you start crossing T's, dotting I's, and staying in momentum, the faster you guys are going to be able to take your life by the fucking horns. And when you guys are listening to this, if you listen to it on the day that it releases, it is officially the very first fucking full week of 2024 in January. And that's what I mean about if you win your first third, you win the entire year, is that you got to win your first week of the fucking year. Last week was a little bit of a trial and error. It was a long weekend. We started like on Monday, Tuesday. You kind of started dragging into the week. You didn't really pick up momentum till Wednesday, Thursday. There might have been some family, might have been some relatives, there might have been some holidays going on. But nonetheless, now that it is January 8th, 2024, when this episode drops, it is officially game time. There is no excuses going forward. There's no more holiday seasons. There's nothing. Unless you have a birthday, it is entirely on you to make sure that your life gets to where you got to go from now on. Because there shouldn't be anything ahead. Everyone's in their New Year's, new me bullshit. They're in the New Year's, new resolutions bullshit. And that's why I'm calling it bullshit, because this is bullshit if you look at it from a standpoint of this, like, new me. New year, new me, sorry. This is when we take ownership. This is what I'm saying. We're not going to it would be nice to do these things. It's like, no, we are going to do these things. So with this being the very first week of 2024, officially from Monday to the end of day Sunday next week, or however you look at your week, Sunday to Saturday, it's game time. So regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's going on in your life, you got to understand that year starts now. The reason why I want to give you guys so much high energy right off the bat is because I want you guys to understand that your guys' life can change so drastically within a year if you guys go after it relentlessly. And what I mean by going after it relentlessly, I mean every day. Every single second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every fucking quarter of every year is fucking taken accounted for. There is no fucking weaknesses. And to put it in perspective, right? Because a lot of people say like, oh, I like to work out. I like to not work out, but I like to tackle my goals Monday to Friday. I like to tackle my goals, 6 days of the week. I want to tell you, this is the percentage that if you think going Monday to Friday, 5 days out of 7 of the week is great, and you're going to see a success rate for your goals, if you, let's say, put this in perspective for you. Let's say you attack 10 out of 10 your goals Monday to Friday. I don't give a flying fuck how great you feel. You are still only 71 to 72% successful that motherfucking week. And the reason why that is because 5 out of 7 days is 72 to 71%. So I don't know if you look at this as college, look at this as university, you look at this as an educational system, that is what? A C minus? Maybe a C, because once you get into 80s, that's B. So like you're getting a C minus, you're almost to a D. So if you look at this from a perspective of like, okay, on a scale of, am I going against my goals or going with my goals and attacking them? Do you want a C minus for that? Hey, how's your fitness goal? How's your fitness or muscle building goal going? C minus. How's your relationship? C minus. How's your career goals, your career advances? C minus. Even when you do 6 days out of 7, it's still only 86%. That's a B. That's a solid fucking B. Maybe a B plus if you want to mark it a little bit higher. And it's like the reason I want to give you guys these perspectives is because literally to the date of me recording this episode, which is January 7th, the day before I release it, This time last year would have been the very first day of me stepping foot in Kelowna, quitting my 9 to 5 job and going all in on my business to try to figure out who the fuck I am amongst this space and if I deserve it. And here I am, to the exact day, a year later, sitting here more successful beyond my dreams. And that's why I want to drill this into your guys' brain is like, this time next year, this exact fucking time next year, you guys can and will be looking back at like the fucking mountain you guys have climbed and then the fortress and the empire and the legacy you guys have built for your guys' selves, because every second of every hour of every day, every week of every month fucking matters. And if you only tackle your goals 5 out of 7 days of the week, you're a C- player. And if you think you're fucking arrogant for doing it 6 days of the week, guess what? It's still only 86%. So I want you guys to look at this perspective, because on one side of the coin, I'm not going to sit here and say work 7 days out of the week, go after it. However, you have to be in tune with who you are, where you're going and everything. And you can do that 7 days out of the week. And now, like I said, 6 days out of 7 is literally 86%, which is a B motherfucking plus, a B. It's honestly 85% is a B, 86 to 90 is B plus, and the B minus is 84 down. So you're just B, So if you want to tackle your goals this year and really take ownership over everything, you need to have integrity and look at them from the standpoint of, am I giving it A plus effort? Am I giving it 10 out of 10 effort? Because you got to understand where the deficiencies are that give you fucking massive gaps in terms of where you guys are going. What I mean by that is a B minus, or let's say a C minus. Let's say Monday to Friday you guys tackle your goals, but Saturday and Sunday you guys take off and kind of more like, more lethargic, more lazy, because you earned it, right? Quote unquote, you earned it. You stroked your ego. You said I put enough effort in this week. I earned it. All of those times that you are letting your foot off the gas, all of those times that you're not making up ground to go from a C minus to a B plus or a B plus to an A plus, is the deficiency of when you go back so much further. You ever hear the quote, it goes 1-2 steps forward, it goes 3-4 steps back? That's what it is. Each week you get 1-2 steps forward, but when you stop and take your finger off of the pulse, you go 3-4 steps backwards. So why do you think you guys are stirring your guys' tires or stirring your guys' fucking emotions every Monday when you guys try to tackle your goals again after you just let off the gas for 48 hours? So, and same thing with like if you do 6 days a week, go to 7. It's like you guys just got to be aware of where your deficiencies are. Prime example with a fitness goal, right? Like you can literally crush your fucking macros, your nutrition, your relationship with food and everything 10 out of 10. But that one day that you binge eat, that you eat 4,000, 5,000 calories, you ruin it all. And this same simplicity of an ideology of how to measure your success and making sure you're staying in momentum and have your finger on the pulse in the right way just hits home, because you got to understand that you have to be relentless towards making your goals. If you have a career goal, you have to be obsessed with it. You have to understand the market. You have to understand every fucking angle of it, because we have one life to literally live. And and I don't know about you guys, but I'm turning 30 this year. That fucking scares me. 30, that scares me. And I know there's not a lot of people that I talk to a little bit older. There's a lot of people I talk to that are younger. And, not by any means am I saying I'm fucking old, or am I saying that like, my years are being numbered now. But, it feels like just yesterday that I was like 19, just being able to go downtown. It feels like just yesterday I was 23, getting into bodybuilding, figuring out like this more mature side of myself. It feels like just yesterday I was downtown, blowing my brains out, abusing drugs, being like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, right? It feels like just yesterday I flew to Kelowna and just tried to change my life, So life fucking happens fast. And the biggest thing that you don't like that I've realized over the last 2 or 3 years of changing my life is like, you have to be relentless on your goals, because no one's going to come give you the answers for yourself. So with any type of goal that you have to have your finger on the pulse the entire time. And the reason why I want you guys to have such high energy and such high clarity onto what all this looks like for you and where your deficiencies are is because this time next year is going to come whether you guys wanted to or not. This time next year is going to come whether you guys are prepared or not. Life is going to happen to you if you don't get ahead of it and let it happen for you. So the biggest thing with 2024 and this little bit of an episode is that, I have no really concrete topic for this episode aside from let's get a quick fucking start for 2024. Every single dream and aspiration you have in your life, your goal, your physical goal, your financial goal, your emotional goal, your career goal, whatever it is within your life, it is fucking out there. It just may not be within arm's reach. It may not be within fucking 17-hour drive reach, but it is out there if you relentlessly stay committed to it. And that's why I wanted to break down the deficiencies of your mindset when you really look at it from the perspective of like, oh, I tackle Monday to Friday, so Saturday and Sunday is good to take off. It's like, that's a C minus, dog. oh, I do 6 days a week. That's only a B, you know? So it's like when you look at all of that time throughout the course of the year, like 2 times, there's 52 weeks of the year, right? There's 2 weekend days in there, right? So 2 times 52 is 104 days. You divide that by 356 days in the year, that is 30%. You know what I mean? So like 30% take away 100, or 100 take away 30 is 70%. So if you're only doing 70% over the course of the entire year, what do you think your goals are going to be at? Okay, if you want to lose 100 pounds, you're only putting 70% of the effort into it. You're going to lose 70 pounds. You want to gain 10 pounds of muscle, you're only going to gain 5 to 7 because you're only putting in that much fucking effort. And the crazy thing about it is with this little mindset shift and just being able to understand where your deficiencies are, where you lack, because when you lack, that's when you retract, you can make up so much ground. Like I said, this time last year, I was just going to Kelowna. I spent fucking like 12 grand to get there with events, with Airbnbs, with flights and tickets and things, because I was like, want to know what? If I'm fucking worthy of every dream, I'm not talking about a B plus dream or C minus dream. I'm talking about an A motherfucking plus. I'm allowed to teach the class now because I'm so goddamn smart. That's how relentless I went after my goals. I said, if I want every single goal, to be able to fly back to the Italian restaurant that I went in Venice in 2017 without a drop of a dime of stress, if I want to do that, I'm going to see if I'm worth it. Same thing if I want to compete again, win an overall, go all in and still have a successful business, go to the Mafia Coast for my 30th birthday, eventually be able to get a SUV Tesla, which would be fucking sick, upgrade my podcast to have a podcast studio, all these different things. I took them all. I aligned myself up with it. I put my finger on every single pulse for these goals, and I went all in. And the biggest thing I learned within the last year to 2 to 3 years is figuring out those little bit of deficiencies that I'm talking about where you truly do think you're putting in 10 out of 10 effort when really you're putting in C minus effort. Really you're putting in B plus effort. So the biggest takeaway I want you to take from this episode is 2 things. 1, high energy this year. Relentless, high fucking energy, fuck you energy. Anyone, including myself, and I'm not to get religious or spiritual, but God himself, your partner, whoever you hold very highly that you fold to because you care about their respect, fuck them. You are the most important person this year. That is what I want you to take away. That's one of them. You are the most important person, and you're going to go after it relentlessly. And number 2 is be honest with your fucking effort. You know, really be honest and understand where I'm being deficient. Am I letting go the weekends? Am I letting go the standards? And if you are, why? And if you're not, pat yourself in the fucking back because this year's about to be yours. Anyways, other than that, I'm fucking excited for this year. 2024 is ours to take. We're going to be elevating beyond comprehension. And if there's anything that any of you guys ever need at a drop of a dime, I'm always here for every single one of you guys that listens. You guys know that. And at the end of the day, I've been saying this a lot lately because it's inspiring, and I take pride in this. But at the end of the day, I'm just a broken kid from the ghetto, from foster care, and, you know, went through the crisis of a broken home like we all did. And all I did one day was make a decision to be better. And here I am now 5 years later. And if I can do it, so can you. Let's fucking go.
I stand tall